hour-long bike ride first thing. Hey, over live.
All right, everyone. It is Friday, and you know what that means. It's time for Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. I am one of your co-hosts, Damon Pistolka. That pretty gentleman right over there, Kurt Anderson, finished working out this morning, doing all those good things, and ready to go. Taking us away today because we're going to be talking about SEO strategies for manufacturers and going into what the hub and spoke content strategy really means. Kurt, take it away, my friend.
Hey, Damon, what on earth? What in the hub and spoke is a hub and spoke, right? What on earth is it?
There you go. Right. What in the hub and spoke is a hub and spoke.
What in the hub and spoke is all right. So hey, man, let's hub like, is that short for husband, hubby? I don't know. Does your wife, does Lena ever call you hubby or no?
She calls me a lot of things.
A lot of other.
Yeah, it's been a lot of years, so it's been a lot of things.
Yeah, you got. All right. Well, this is a family show, so we won't go there. So anyway,
yeah, we won't go there.
Well, all right. Let's dive in. So, hey, welcome. Happy Friday to everybody. You're catching us. If it's not Friday when you're catching us, happy whatever day it is, right?
Yeah.
So, welcome to the show. Stop Being the Best Kept Secret. Today, what we're talking about is SEO strategies, in particular for manufacturers. We want to dive into that hub and spoke strategy. Damon, do you want to kind of give us a nutshell or like kind of an overview? What is hub? As a matter of fact, I just got I got a bike. I have a nice bike. It's like 15 years old, little, and I just took it to the shop and I got, new tires, new pedals, like all sorts of new stuff. Right. So it kind of ties in with our hub and spoke. What is a hub and spoke when we're talking about content, not my bike? What are we talking about?
Well, I was just thinking about bikes. I mean, you got like I got
a little
banana seat and the 5-speed shifter and the
twin. Yeah, I got a little bell. Ding ding ding. I go. I'm the old guy going by with a bell. So yeah.
But anyway, the hub and spoke content strategy is as simple as this: is that a hub is a main content pillar that you really want to talk about. And that your soulmate customers will care about. And then your spokes are all the things around that you can talk about that really help to teach people and educate them on that main topic, for lack of a better term.
Yep, exactly. So, okay. So let's talk about a couple of examples. So manufacturers, they could be like CNC shop, they could be metal fabricator, wire harness assembly, like all sorts of wonderful, amazing things that these folks manufacture and produce. Right. So let's talk about what would be an example of like diving in, because we don't want to get too broad. Right. We want to keep it. As a matter of fact, Monday, we're going to be talking about niching. So like niching down with your keyword strategy. Right.
Yep.
So let's think about like taking a main topic. Okay. So we're going to use an example of like, you know what, let's just pull one up. Let's go into show and tell. How's that?
Awesome.
All right. Well, hey, Damon, have you heard that we've got new software? Did you know about this? Do you know we're
I've seen this thing called the digital game plan a few times.
All right. So, hey guys, and welcome again. Drop us a note. Let us know you're out there. Big hello to you. Thank you for joining us. And we are talking about, we have this wonderful new software tool that Damon and I have created, and it's called the digital game plan. And what it is, it's a step-by-step. It's a wonderful tool resource to help you kind of get your digital game plan, get your digital footprint started. And it's a step-by-step process. What we're talking about here today, we're down on the tab for the hub and spoke. Now, what we've done prior is we've really dove into like, hey, what are your core strengths and opportunities within your company, your opportunities, what solutions you provide, right? We've dove into like that ideal buyer persona.
Yeah.
We dove into like, what are the RICs? We call those the ridiculously important keywords.
Yeah.
We've talked about the other RICs, Damon, the questions that they're asking.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's hit
that real quick. And then we're going to dive into some of the examples here on the hub and spoke. Like, why is it so important understanding those RICs, those RIQs, those ridiculously important questions?
That is awesome, because I'm glad you asked it, Kurt, because those questions are the things that if you start creating content around those questions, not only will they help you with your hub and spoke, like you can see some questions on the page here, but in search now, the AI search that Google has incorporated wants to answer questions. wants to answer people's questions, not just send them to the most helpful website, but they want to specifically answer questions. So if you are answering the most important questions of your soulmate customer, your ICP, you are more likely to get featured in those AI responses.
Exactly right. So focusing on like those ridiculously important keywords that tie into the ridiculously important questions that your
Yeah.
soulmate customer is asking, then what we're doing is we're going into the hub and spoke. Now, what the hub and spoke is, let's take the hub as like the main core keyword that you're targeting that you would love to come up for, and then trying to really encompass like what's every question that somebody would ask around that particular hub, thus creating spokes around that
Yeah.
hub, right? So let's dive into some different examples here. So let's just take, for example, a manufacturer. This is a customer that we've worked with over the years. So say they are a custom wire harness assembly manufacturer, service provider. And what are questions that somebody would ask around that main topic? Okay. So, hey, somebody might say, what is a custom wire harness? How to spec out a wire harness for industrial equipment? How about UL certification? This is a big one, Damon. I know like you've done a lot of, with all the electronics that you've worked with over the years, like the conveyor belt, right? Like how
we had to
important
be UL certified. It was a big deal.
It's a huge deal. So, again, if you're providing wire harness assemblies, answering that question or providing additional information around UL certification, Damon, what do we always talk about? How do we out teach, right? Is that how that goes?
Yes, we want to out teach our competition.
Out teach the competition. So, going further down, if you get into, I'll tell you, wire harness manufacturing assembly is really a fascinating field. There's wire harnesses compared to cable assembly. What are the key differences? What's the, as of today, tariffs have been an extremely hot topic this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what are the benefits of made in USA wire harnesses compared to importing or outsourcing to other countries? And, again, like here's our client right here. How does this particular company, Falcon Electronics, how they have fast turnaround for their wire harness projects?
Yep.
Big thing that they do, Damon, is you're very familiar with this. They have a configurator, quote builder, we like to call it. And this helps them really, as a matter of fact, they just launched a new one 2 months ago. So it's for jumper wires. And that completely ties into this, that question right there. And then offering case studies. Okay. So anyway, Damon, anything that you want to add, your thoughts, your comments, as far as like that example there for wire harness assembly, as far as like hub and spoke goes?
This is just so effective at giving you topics that are relevant that you should be talking about in your content. It doesn't matter if it's a post, if it's asking a customer a question and you're on the phone with them, or a blog post. I mean, these are the kind of things that people need to understand.
Right. These are the questions that people are asking. These are people that are going to either ChatGPT, they're going to AI, they're using Google, whatever it might be. So again, just being that fierce, unapologetic educator. How do we outteach the competition? And taking this approach, this hub and spoke. And again, think of like your main topic, your main core keyword, right? That phrase that you're looking for. And then just think about like if it were a tire with spokes, what's every question or everything that you think your ideal customer needs to know? And just, think about the questions that you get asked over and over and over. You're like, gosh, I just wish I could hit the play button. For those of us that remember play buttons, could you just hit the play button, just spit out that answer and just knock that down, right?
Yeah. If nothing else on these things on your website, you can put them in as FAQs, right? Just stick some FAQs on your page. It all helps. Ultimately, these hub and spoke is really good for generating blog content or other things that really can go with a little longer, but start where you are.
Hey, we got our dear friend Trish. That's very cool. Hey, Trish, how are you, man? Happy Friday to you. Hope you're having a wonderful, magnificent week this week, Trish. Thank you for dropping a note. So, Damon, let's take a look. Let's scroll down a little bit further. So these guys also produce ground straps. So if you're producing a ground strap, like some other, we talk about UL and Rojas. If you're in an electrical world, Rojas is a great, is it lead or lead free, right? Grounding best practices. anyway, so these are just, right here, ground strap installation tips and common mistakes. So again, let's take out this example and just fill it in like with your product, your solution. Like Trish does an amazing job with translation. She could take the exact same thing. And I'll tell you, Trish is wonderful. Trish, we need to get you back on the show here. And she needs, right, Damon? I bet you AI is completely changing her world, right? Wouldn't you think?
Yep. Making it much different.
Making it much different. So again, like with we'll wind down on this, like with Trish's example, she provides a powerful solution for manufacturers that are global, that need to have different languages. And I'll tell you why her service is so important and so critical is, you could have like Google Translate or something, but man, when you're talking like technical, you're converting like, different measurements and different languages and all, and it's got to be technically perfect. Like that's where you need Trish to step in.
That's
right?
a little different task.
A little different task. And so again, like she could do the same type thing. Translation services for manufacturers would be the core hub. What would all the spokes be? Hey, what different languages do you recommend? Hey, how do you translate different measuring tools or what have you? So I mean, she could go right down the line. If you're doing e-commerce, what are the best translation tactics? What do you use for translation when via email? So I mean, there's all sorts of things that she could be using. Again, take that main topic, come up with your spokes, just pretend, hey, Damon, pretend that's a tire right there, right?
Yeah.
Here's the spokes, here's the hub, you get it. So, okay. And again, we've got this wonderful new AI-driven software tool that Damon and I have, not bad for two young guys, right, Damon?
Yep.
Yeah. So, okay, we're going to start winding down here. So, Damon, parting thoughts, words of wisdom that you want to share as we're talking about the hub and spoke for folks.
Well, I think, if you're going to do any sort of marketing, you really need to have a strategy around it, because just going out and going, hey, let's do an article on this, or let's do a post on this on social media, you really aren't doing yourself much good if you don't understand, what are we doing? Why are we doing it? And then have an organized approach to it, because you're not really driving everything towards a common goal.
Exactly. So, all right, guys. Hey, welcome to our program as we're winding down. If you just came in, strongly encourage you, welcome you, invite you, go back and hit the little replay. Do they still say rewind, or is that we showing our age when we say rewind?
I think we are.
I think I'm showing my age. Like nobody knows what that means. So go back and just drag that little thing back to the beginning. You could catch this over again. And Damon, how about closing this out, dude?
All right. Well, thanks everyone. Trish, thanks so much for dropping a comment in today. And thank you, all the listeners, that we can see you're here. We can see you're listening. We appreciate you. If you got into this late, go back to the beginning, as Kurt said, and start over. And we're going to go through a few of the hub and spoke content strategy tips from our digital game plan that you can implement yourself. Thank you for being here. We will be back again next week. Have a great rest of your week.
Hey, Timothy's here.
Timothy, there you go. Timothy. Hey guys, thanks, Timothy.
Hope you're having an awesome summer, dude. So great to have Timothy here. So, all right, guys, again, SEO strategies for manufacturers. Go out and keep crushing it. If you have any questions, reach out to this handsome guy, Damon. Reach out to myself. We'd love to help you. And have a great weekend. And we'll catch you on Monday.
Bye, folks.